Hello dear readers and subscribers. In today's video we're going to have a stroll through history, through contemporary art history, to discuss some of the most controversial and shocking artworks. As this channel predominantly focuses on contemporary art, post-war art, there will be no Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe by Edouard Manet or Les Demoiselles d'Avignon by Picasso, nor will we encounter Marcel Duchamp's Fountain, so sit back and enjoy. We start with the only drawing from our list, if it is one in the first place. Rauschenberg was born in 1925 in Texas and passed away in 2008 in Florida, and he is arguably best known for his paintings and graphic works, incorporating popular culture and the everyday in his practice, paving the way for pop art. However, in the early 1950s, Rauschenberg created a series of artworks defying the definition of art in the tradition of Marcel Duchamp and the imminent arrival of conceptual art. The idea was to see if it was possible to create an artwork produced entirely through erasure, resulting in an empty sheet of paper, apart from a few traces and stains. After erasing a number of his own drawings, Rauschenberg approached Willem de Kooning and asked for a drawing he could erase for this project. In the end, with the help of Jasper Johns, they framed and labeled the empty piece of dirt-stained drawing paper, which would become one of his most iconic and most controversial works. Hate it or love it, this iconoclastic act stands apart for its wittiness and ingenuity, praised for its groundbreaking avant-garde approach to art in the mid-20th century, before the true heyday of conceptual art. Now, historically speaking, we arrive at that heyday of conceptual art, with Piero Manzoni, born in 1933 in Soncino, Italy, and passed away in 1963 in Milan. In 1961, he created Merda d'Artista, which literally translates to artist shit. Manzoni filled 90 tin cans with 30 grams of his own excrements and sold them at a day price of gold, alluding to the artist literally shitting gold. Manzoni's work is, of course, an anti-establishment artwork. It is a mockery of the art world and the commodification of art, which was at the very center of conceptual art. Some say the tins are not filled with feces but with plaster. As they are made of steel, one cannot x-ray them, nor would it make sense to open one of them, because the value of the work would be lost, and considering its auction record of 275,000 euros, I wouldn't open it either. And in the end, shit or no shit, that is not the point for this artwork. The statement and the idea are. As a result, for some it is a great piece of art, for others it is crap, literally. With Rauschenberg we still had this focus on the object, but it was clear that the idea was gaining ground, which with Piero Manzoni and conceptual art became the artwork itself, and the object became rather inferior. As the definition of art had been radically revisited, art happenings and fluxus artists emerged, focusing on an act, a performance, which would in the late 60s and especially in the 1970s result in a new art movement, a new artistic discipline, performance art. Vito Acconci, born in 1940 in New York, where the artist passed away in 2017, was a pioneering performance artist with numerous notorious performance pieces. Arguably, his most controversial performance was performed in 1972 at Sonnabend Gallery in New York, where the empty gallery space consisted of a low wooden ramp, and below that ramp, Acconci was hidden out of sight, masturbating, basing his fantasies on the movements of the visitors above him, and narrating those fantasies out loud, boosted by the speakers in the gallery space. Acconci masturbated 8 hours per day for 3 weeks. Carolee Schneemann, born in 1939 in Fox Chase, Pennsylvania, and passed away in 2019 in New York, continues to unnerve up to this very day with her provocative and groundbreaking performance from 1975, documented in a suite of 13 gelatin prints and titled Interior Scroll. In the performance, Schneemann engaged her body as a site of artistic and especially feminist exploration. She began clothed, but transitioned to a semi-nude state, painting her body and reciting from her book Cézanne. She was a great painter. A pivotal moment, however, involved her drawing a scroll from her vagina and reading aloud text that juxtaposed intuition and bodily processes, with traditionally male notions of rationality and order. Schneemann, originally trained as a painter, challenges the separation of sexuality and art, asserting the body, particularly the female body, as a source of creative and intellectual power. This approach aligns with her broader vision of reclaiming the body as a site of sacred knowledge and uniting it with artistic expression. For many, the value of this artwork is mere shock value, provoking for the sake of provocation. For others, it is an iconic masterpiece that continues to inspire artists up to this very day in the 21st century. André Serrano, born in 1950 in New York, where the artist has continued to work and reside, created in 1987 one of his most iconic and controversial pieces. Piss Christ is a cibochrome photo print that ignited widespread controversy when it was exhibited in 1989. The photograph features a crucifix submerged in the artist's urine, giving the religious symbol a monumental yet provocative quality. Part of Serrano's Immersion series, the piece evokes a sense of finality and challenges both faith and art. While some Catholics view the work as blasphemous, it has faced criticism and vandalism during exhibitions across the United States and Europe. The artist responded that he meant neither blasphemy nor offense with the work. In fact, he has been a Catholic all his life and a follower of Christ. It aims to allude to the recent trend of commercializing or cheapening Christian icons in contemporary culture. Still, Serrano is best known for his highly saturated color photographs of controversial subjects. Think of photographing corpses, feces, or the KKK, in which he aims to create absurd juxtapositions. Ironically, when the artwork was first exhibited in a New York gallery in 1987, it was received well. However, when it was exhibited in a museum institution in 1989 and it became clear that he received public funding, outrage and vandalism dominated the narrative of this artwork. Ai Weiwei, born in 1957 in Beijing, is a multidisciplinary artist and activist. Dropping a Han Dynasty urn from 1995 is one of many works that sparked global controversy and debate by Weiwei. The artwork consists of 3 photographs that show the artist holding, dropping and breaking an urn, dating back to approximately 200 BC, causing public outrage for the seemingly pointless destruction of 2 millennia-old cultural heritage. To make matters worse, Ai Weiwei broke 2 urns with the aim of capturing this iconoclastic performance with his camera's burst modes. A relevant silver lining, of course, is that the expensive urns were not broken in vain, as they continue to initiate discussion and reflection about our valuation of cultural heritage, tradition, and the past in general. One can also identify a sharp criticism, typical of Weiwei's practice towards his home country, drawing parallels to China's Cultural Revolution and how there is a structurally imposed relationship between power and the valorization of objects. Ancient urns and vases would continue to play a prominent role in his creative endeavors, from destroying them to painting a Coca-Cola logo on top of them. Up next, we have the only painting from our list. Chris Ofili, born in 1968 in Manchester, lives and works in Trinidad, is best known for his atmospheric and enigmatic paintings portraying stylized characters, drawing inspiration from various cultural sources to investigate desire, identity, and representation. For instance, an iconic example of this approach is his controversial depiction of the Holy Virgin Mary in 1996, using acrylic paint, oil paint, glitter, map pins, and paper collage elements from pornographic magazines to depict the angels flying in the presence of the Holy Virgin and elephant dung supporting the canvas, but also sculpting her exposed breasts. An exuberant and majestic work typical of Ofili introduced unconventional materials and a hip-hop interpretation of Western art history's most portrayed female figure. However, the juxtaposition of the Virgin and the pornographic was not appreciated by everyone, as some argued it was sick, offensive, and blasphemous. Even though the Virgin Mary has been eroticized on numerous occasions throughout art history, the sexual potency of the collage pictures and the often misunderstood use of elephant dung, something Ofili was known for and is believed to have healing qualities. The painting was vandalized by a visitor in 1999, smearing white paint on top of it. The work sold for $4.6 million at auction before being donated to the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Tracey Emin, born in 1963 in Croydon, lives and works between London and Margate. She's currently lauded for her recent series of figure paintings, which draw inspiration from her life, body, desires and grief. For Emin, the most beautiful thing is honesty, no matter how painful it is to look at. And there has been plenty of pain in the life of Tracey Emin. This raw honesty and unfiltered approach to herself was not always presented on canvas in such a meticulous manner. In fact, the British artist rose to fame with her often provocative ready-made sculptures, such as My Bed from 1998. The artwork consists of a ready-made sculpture exhibiting her actual bed after a period of drinking, smoking, sex, eating and more in the middle of the gallery or museum space. People were shocked to see period-stained clothes, empty bottles of vodka, a used pregnancy test, lubricant, condoms and cigarettes. But when Emin analyzed her bed, she saw a work of art. Conceptually, she exposes her unfiltered self to the art world, resulting in a shocking yet poetic work of art. The work became a media sensation and became also a turning point for her budding career, even though some art critics hated it and called it an endlessly solipsistic, self-regarding homage. Tracey, you are a bore. Nevertheless, My Bed remained one of the most iconic pieces by the British artist, and 10 years ago it went under the hammer for a whopping $3.7 million. Wim Delvoye, born in 1965 in Werwijk, Belgium, lives and works between Ghent and Brighton. Has made more than one controversial artwork throughout his career. Think of his Cloaca series, recreating the human digestive system in a machine and therefore creating feces. However, in the 90s, Delvoye started to experiment with tattoo art and pigskin, tattooing both dried skin and living pigs with Louis Vuitton logos, Walt Disney princesses, skulls, hearts and more, all part of the collective memory and reflecting consumer society in various ways. Inspired by human body decoration and also how people mark animals, Delvoye wanted to make the pigs more human and create living artworks. He was interested in how the pig would increase in value and how they are protected from slaughter by being tattooed and becoming art. Genius for some, animal cruelty for others. In 2003, CAI prevented Delvoye from exhibiting 23 tattooed living pigs during the Watteau Art Festival in Belgium. But Delvoye was eager to make his project and vision a reality. So as a result, in 2004, out of reach of CAI, he started his art farm in Beijing, China, where pigs were tattooed and taken care of as living artworks. Born in 1949 in the Panama Canal Zone, Richard Prince has made a career out of appropriating photographs. However, in 2015, he presented a new series of appropriated photographs at Gagosian in London, causing agitation and controversy. Prince sourced portraits from Instagram profiles by screen-saving images, adding his own comments and printing the results on canvas. He transformed ephemeral social media posts into artworks. The series highlights the self-curated nature of online identities, but also discusses the unclear distinction between public and private, original and derivative, in what he calls social science fiction. His process, which merges analog and digital techniques, evokes questions about authorship, consent, and the commodification of personal imagery in the age of social media. For Prince, the appropriation situates itself in a grey area that interested him and reflects the evolving cultural and technological landscape. And, in his words, it stands as one of the most fulfilling endeavors of his career. For others, it is pure theft, a scandalous breach of intellectual property, privacy, authorship, and ownership. If you want to hear more controversial artworks, definitely let us know in the comments, because there are numerous other candidates for this list. Feel free to write what you think about these artworks, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Feel free to watch our video on Maurizio Catalan's Comedian next. Support us on Patreon and please consider subscribing to stay posted for more contemporary art. Bye.